Hi guys, you're welcome. Thank you so much for clicking up, you guys. Feeling good. My name is Bukubi BK Crown. So this rabbi reveals why Muslims can't be defeated. Wow, let's watch.
This rabbi reveals why Muslims are true believers and why they are impossible to defeat.
The enemy of Ishmael, that Ishmael represents, is an enemy that cannot be defeated by conventional methods. Ishmael is the most difficult because they are the only one of our enemies that comes with a spiritual power.
It was during one of his teaching sessions when a Jewish student among the participants asked him a question about Muslims, known as the descendants of Ishmael. In fact, the man wanted to know why God answers the prayers of Muslims whom he believes they are not on the right path. Let us first listen to his question and then the answer given by the rabbi.
My question is about the war. I remember when I was in yeshiva, you told us that the Arabs are such a difficult opponent because they do have certain supplications, and they have a certain connection with God. For example, they have circumcision, they have some version of halal food, they have modesty, and even some people would say they are better with modesty than we are. So, my question is about something that I have been struggling with, because when I stand before God, I feel some kind of confusion and discouragement. And even if it has not happened to me, I can imagine that some people might even have some negative feeling, or even a feeling of betrayal, to see that the Arabs pray to God to hurt us, and God gives them success.
Wow.
We know that God answers their prayers because they succeed. So, how do we deal with that confusion? And do we have the right to stand in front of God and ask Him to listen to our prayers and ignore the prayers of the Arabs so that they can stop to hurt us?
Answering this question, the rabbi started by saying that it is one of the most difficult questions to which he has been struggling to find answers for years. He recognized that one of the strengths of Muslims is their spirituality. As descendants of Ishmael, Muslims have strong spiritual heritage, including traditions of daily prayer, which puts them in strong connection with God. Muslims also have the benefits of the covenant of circumcision, which they inherited from Abraham.
Yep, it's a very, very difficult issue, and this is a concept that I admit has given me much confusion and uncertainty over the years. Rav Chaim Vital writes, based on Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, that the last and most difficult galus that Am Yisrael will face will be the confrontation with Ishmael. And he says Ishmael is the most difficult because they are the only one of our enemies that comes with a spiritual power. Meaning, Esav, that represents physicality and brute force. So of course, in the long run at least, Ruchnius, spirituality defeats physicality. The danger of Ishmael is a much more subtle danger, because Ishmael comes not only with physical brutality, but Ishmael comes with spiritual merits. They are a child of Abraham, they have a koach of prayer, they have a merit of Brit Milah, again, which goes back to Avram. There is a tznius.
In fact, the rabbi recognizes that the spiritual aspect of the descendants of Ishmael sets them apart from other enemies of the Jews, as they can use their spiritual strength to achieve their goals, including to resist to any kind of threat, even if it means sacrificing their lives. For this reason, the rabbi asserted that to be able to face an enemy like the descendants of Ishmael, there is a need to develop strategies based on greater spiritual strength.
And indeed, this is very, very clearly the case. If you think about this, the enemy of Ishmael, that Ishmael represents, is an enemy that cannot be defeated by conventional methods. There's no way to stop it, meaning there is no logical way of stopping people who are willing to die for their cause. What, they're threatened with death? Bring it on, present to hate. That's what I want. Mutual assured destruction only works when you either have cowards or at least normal people, people who don't want to die. But when you have people who don't care if they die, then how are you going to stop them? There's nothing you can do. So the dilemma is we need spiritual ways of defeating them. And yet we do find that prayer is such a miraculous power in the universe.
For Muslims, of course, this is not something new, and even if our current state may make us think otherwise, the reality is that our religion, if we follow it correctly, It gives us a winner's mindset thanks to the reliance on our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that rabbi is well aware of that. Many Jews may delude themselves saying that Islam is not real religion, but the learned ones know for a fact that we worship the Creator of the heavens and the earth with complete devotion and pure monotheism. But there is something important to mention here. While answering the question, the rabbi said that because the descendants of Ishmael have the power of spirituality that makes their prayers answered by God, they use this advantage to ask for bad things, including harm and evil upon others. Listen.
Because they have these merits, they can pray for bad things. And there's a certain power in their prayer.
No, this is not true. Muslims do not pray for harm or evil upon others. But this doesn't mean Muslims do not pray to God for strength to defend themselves while they are attacked or wronged. This is different from harming innocent people. The book says, "Permission to fight back is hereby granted to those being fought, for they have been wronged, and Allah is truly most capable of helping them prevail." This is one example where the use of force is allowed to defend oneself, but in another verse, we are told to be just and not to revenge. The verse says, "O believers, stand firm for Allah and bear true testimony. Do not let the hatred of a people lead you to injustice. Be just because that is closer to righteousness, and be mindful of Allah. Surely Allah is all aware of what you do." Thank you very much for your time. Assalamu alaikum.
Whew. I explained so many things about Ishmael. In Christianity, Ishmael was one of Abraham's sons from the concubine, and they didn't really regard him. They didn't say much about him compared to Isaac. But in Islam, Ishmael is one of the men. I would say he is like a role model based on the Quran. And the rabbi tried to let us understand why Muslims can't be defeated, why the religion is true, is the one and only true religion. And that was a very beautiful one. I love the last statement this man made, saying that they do not pray for evil things to happen to people, but if something bad happens to them, it's something that they'll pray to God to fight for them, fight their battles. And that was a beautiful video. Let me know your point of view, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.